Hello everyone, this is Shobhik Mandal from IIT Madras. So my presentation is on Mahatak, phase-wise acceleration of regression testing for C programs. So with an example, you see that nowadays we use C programs like Unix operating system. Some of the basic utilities are cat, ls, pwd and the likes. Now as per the setting of software evolution, we have two different versions. One is v0.c and the other is v1.c. So as C programs contain global variables and then the local variables for different functions. So in this piece of code we see that we have one global variable, namely g, and in the older version, that is v0, and this is the changed version. So the entire program is one single piece of straight line up to this scanf, and then there are two branches, one for if and the other for else. Now in this evolution from v0 to v1, we have two changes. One is that g equal to 5, the global variable g equal to 5 has changed to g equal to 7, and in the if has changed from something it was there, now it has changed from n equal to n minus 64. So these are the two changes. In this work we treat the global variable as a super block, that is the startup basic block, where any program execution will have to execute that basic block. Main is the entry point, so the first block is the entry point of main. So we treat this block or segment of globals as a startup which occurs even before the entry point of entry block of main. So if any changes occur in the global section, all of the test cases are affected. Now if we disregard globals, we see that we have change in the if block. So for this example, there are two different kinds of analysis here. One is global sensitive and the other is global insensitive. By global sensitive I mean that if we have a change in a global, all the test cases that pass through that block in where the global is residing will be selected. If it is global insensitive analysis, see only the change basic blocks and all those test cases that touched or executed the basic block in v0. So for example, in here if we have some test cases, if we perform a global insensitive analysis, all the test cases that pass through the if block in the v0 will be selected, because this change will be exercised. So we require test cases, functional regression testing of these programs. So we'll deal with failures, that is when the expected output and the output that has occurred, there is a discrepancy in that. So namely, this is the failure is the event that occurs when the current service corresponds to the output functionality associated with the changed code. It deviates from the expected. Expected is according to the older version, or some depends on some test oracles. Now there are some terminologies like error. So failure is at the more higher level. So error is at the lower level and the lowest level is fault. So the fault is the root cause which gives rise to errors. In this work, what we do is we disregard fault information, because in the traditional setting we do not have fault information in place. Because if we want to do that, we will have to first have the test case to fault mapping, first to know that, and then do the regression testing, doing the testing twice. So our analysis will be failure aware but fault blind, because blind means we don't know about the fault information, that is the fault matrix, test case to fault mapping, or even in a more specific way the failure to fault mapping, because if a single fault may give rise to multiple failures. Further analysis of this is fault localization, because so explaining the regressions like failure. So we don't deal with that in this work, only failures we are going to deal henceforth. So the testing may take up to 80% of the testing budget and 50% of the maintenance cost. This involves end-to-end testing, so that means corresponding to the instrumentation, so knowing the knowledge of what test cases cover which part of the code. In the older version we need to instrument the code, execute every test case against the instrumented one, so that we have the code coverage, and then the new version comes in, and then you have to perform the diff. So all of these involves three different phases. Like these are the different phases. Offline phase. So in offline phase what we do is we have the instrumentation of the older version of the code and generation of the test coverage map. That is, we have the test case to code elements mapping. Now in this work we work at the granularity of basic blocks. So we did it for LLVM code, C programs that translate to LLVM using the Clang front end. So this is the conventional RTS In the offline phase involves instrumentation the code, generating the coverage map, and the online phase starts when the new version comes in. So that is why we name it as online phase. Here we identify the tests, identify the changes, change identification, and then select the regression tests depending on the code elements that have been changed and mapping back to test cases and selecting the appropriate test cases. We also perform test prioritization because sometimes we may not run all the test cases because some may be heavy or long running test cases. So like the changes occurred there in some part of the code which involves many test cases to fire, but we will run those test cases later, because that is the heavy test cases later. If we involve them very early, execute them very early, we won't get that much, because if we have a time budget, what we do is we do not run all the test cases. If we run some of the test cases, we make sure that we have run the most important ones. So prioritization comes into play then. Now after all this, we execute the selected test cases. So none of this existing works. Existing works means by the time when we publish this, at that time none of the existing works target the phase-wise parallelization, that means end to end, all the three phases. Some two works were there which parallelized only the execution phase, and so we propose Mahatab to achieve this using parallelization windows. So we'll see shortly what are these windows about, and we assume, because we are using parallelization windows, that all test cases are independent and can be executed in parallel. Okay, so these are the two different tools, FAC 18 and ICST 2019, which existed before Mahatab. So as per the tool availability, we have Mahatab publicly available, and we work at the granularity of basic blocks, LLVM IR, targeted programs are C projects. But the most important part is the comparison lies here, handling of global variables and pointers, involvement of parallelization and prioritization. So the other two, they don't involve any of this. In Mahatab we have all of this. Like globals are handled conservatively. Like if there is any change in the global, like I said in the beginning, we select all test cases. Now for pointers, which may have been in the local variables, the change is detected while we perform diff between the IRs, and parallelization is involved by parallelization windows. And prioritization, we have a new heuristic, relevance and confinedness, and we also propose two different metrics, ECC, which is effectiveness of change coverage, that gives a quantification of how the change is covered, the rate of change coverage, and EPS. EPS is epsilon, that is similarity to optimal prioritization. So if we have 10 failures, that is optimal prioritization should be first 10 test cases should fail. Now how far is it my prioritization in terms of similarity with the optimal prioritization? So that involves notion of a distance, so we'll see that soon. And the baselines for comparison are greedy additional prioritization, retest tolerance, sequential implementation. So let us first see what the sequential execution unit would be. Like we have 10 test cases, we execute one by one, and we have parallel windows, like we execute, like here we have validation window of size 5 and 3. So we have 5 execution units, E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, and run all the selected test cases, the odd numbered ones, in parallel, and record their outcomes. Window size 3, we have some fragmentation of the last window, like we don't have that many execution units, so 3 at a time for the first burst, so the next burst we have 2. So this is the zoom in version of the different phases, like offline phase, online, and the execution phase. So this is the module dependency graph of our tool research prototype. So this arrow means the dependency, or you can say the control flow for different modules. The grayed ones are where the parallelization opportunities exist, and the white ones are where these are inherently sequential part of the code of the entire framework. So conventional RTS, it is sequential in only one thread. In Mahatab we have this kind of ice cream cup parallelisms. By ice cream cup we mean that we have base smaller than the upper part. So this involves, offline phase involves instrumenting and running all the test cases, right? All of the test cases, no test case, nothing is selective here. So we run all the test cases, so much availability of parallelism. And then there is a single threaded phase change delay. This involves online phase, which is a bottleneck. We can see, we'll discuss later. And then there is a phase change delay, and then there is execution phase. Now the base is smaller because we will not run all of the test cases which we have run earlier in the offline phase, because this is selective retesting. Regression test selection is involved. In the worst case scenario, when all test cases are selected, retest all, this ice cream cup will turn into hourglass, like this base will be of same width as the upper one. So the offline phase, so this is the non-instrumented version. So at the rate is for every global variable in the LLVM-IR. So the global segment relies before any function names begin, and entry if then if else followed by this colon is the name of a basic block, and this semicolon in red and red are the comments. Now instrument the v0.ll, inserting printf statement which prints the level of the basic block which traverses. So you can see that this main entry, these are global variables, and these and these string literals also appear in the global segment. So we get the test coverage and then create the forward map, like test 1, test 2, test 3. But we have selected only the 1, 3, 9. The red ones are the selected ones. Moving on to the second phase, we have the online phase. The next version has come in, V1 has come in, and what we do is we generate the LLVM-IR. The global variables for two different versions are done in parallel. Then there is a comparison of global sequentially. So this global section 1 and 2. So this is the change. Temporaries may vary across versions, so yes, hence you need to fold them in. So these temporaries, like %1, percentage followed by any number, will be the temporaries generated by Clang for LLVM. So they may depend from version to version because of the code change, transformation, refactoring and all. So to avoid this unnecessary diff, we fold them in. So fold temporaries in V0 and V1 in parallel. So this is the folding rule that we are saying, unnamed temporaries, anonymous. Any number we folded to $. But there are strings like constant strings like %15 which appear only in the global segments. The rule is applied only after the global comparison. So if there is any change in the global, that will be detected for sure. And then this thing is applied, the folding is applied only after the global comparisons. We perform the diff, create the set of affected blocks. So the affected blocks is here is function name, block name. So here in this case we have main, if then. So now we want to do the prioritization in parallel. So what we do is we create an array so that we can access independently each block. The prioritization strategy that we follow is relevance and confinedness. So by relevance we mean that we run those test cases first which covers affected blocks as much as possible. Confinedness is, on the other hand, is that it covers affected blocks, but importance is given to how much less of the unaffected block it covers. Now we combine these two and we get run the test case which covers affected blocks as much as possible, and also it doesn't cover unaffected blocks. That means too much relevance and too much confinedness. That means it doesn't get distracted away. So this is the prioritization method, like unordered prioritization. We have 10 different test cases and 13 basic blocks. The change is B1, B4 and B7. As per the unordered scenario, we have this sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now the formula for relevance is that coverage intersection delta mod, and we have this, and this is test cases are sorted by this relevance score. The higher the score, the higher the priority. Now let us think about the confinedness. So confinedness, we can see that, let's take for example 1 and 4, 1, 4 and 7. So they have 3 blocks, all of the 3 of them covered, and 4, 2 of them are covered. But these two have similar because the unaffected block 2 and 3, in case of 1 only 2 unaffected blocks are covered, here also 2 unaffected blocks are covered, but this should be given much more priority. This is not captured by confinedness. You can see that in relevance this was given much more weightage. To combine this effect, we add this up. So we normalize the relevance. These two are still 1 and 4, relevance and confinedness. This is given much more priority, 1.5 and 1.17. So even if it covers 2 extra blocks, this one covers all of the affected blocks only, as opposed to this 1 and 7, 2 only affected blocks. So bringing it together, we see that what relevance can't do is done by confinedness, and the other way, that is what confinedness can't do is done by relevance. Sometimes ties in relevance are broken by confinedness. So to bring both of them, we perform relevance and confinedness. Now the AND here is the plus operator. Multiplication, we did not do multiplication here because confinedness and relevance, these are independent, because relevance doesn't depend on confinedness and confinedness doesn't depend on relevance. We sort these test cases by the priority scores and measure the effectiveness of prioritization using APFD measure, that is area under the curve 2D plot of percentage of test cases along x-axis and percentage of faults along y-axis. So it lies in 0 to 1. APFD rewards early fault detection. Here we have the fault knowledge. And we propose the metric EPS and EPS omega. Omega is the parallelization windows. Our proposed metric is based on similarity with optimal prioritizations. It rewards early failure observation opposed to fault because the knowledge is not available at that time. So these are 0 to 1 normalized within 0 to 1. 0 means not that much fruitful and 1 is a fruitful prioritization. To talk about the limitation of the online phase, we have a bottleneck in light blue region. Red ones are the synchronization by barriers. So this involves two threads. Here in this part we have two threads because one thread will do for V0 and the other thread will do for V1. Then you compare the globals, which is again sequential. Folding is again sequential involving two threads. So this part is like effectively it is like sequential. At this part a prioritization of tests is done in parallel as many threads as the number of selected test cases. So for the three different phases, for dataset 1 and dataset 2, we have two different datasets, one involving shared repository programs and the other involving GitHub projects. We have 16 threads and 32 threads configuration. For dataset 1, we have 1.40x. So this is the bottleneck, 1.0. It strictly lies below 2. Even if you see that the earlier, that the two different phases, they have 6.53, 3.74x speed up, 5.10 and 4.044. So moving on to the final phase, we execute and verify the outcomes. Now here we see that these are threads, but ultimately transforms to process level parallelism, and this is safe because test dependency and all those things are taken care of. Processes are isolated and they have isolated address spaces. So this is the failed and passed test cases. So in sequential execution we see that the red ones are the failing test cases and the blue ones are passing. In case of parallel window, if any member of the window, that means any test case in that window fails, we treat that whole window as failed. In a 5 sized window we have last two of them failing. Like this is the same configuration, sequential window of size 5, window of size 3. So the 7 and 9 is failing here. We treat the whole window as failed. And in this case, the first window is passing, second window is failing. Note these window positions as timeline positions. Timeline where the events are each of the test cases, each of the windows are executed and the outcome is observed. So here we have only one position, here we have 5 positions, here we have 2 positions. Now here the failure position is 4 and 5, here the failure position is 1, here the failure position is 2. So to compute the EPS value, the epsilon of P, window size 5 is having the optimal prioritization, that is 1 because it is the first position. In the second one, that is window size 3, it is 0.9 because it has moved here. 0.7 in the sequential. So you see that the epsilon value can be boosted using parallelization windows. So to move on to the experimental results, we have 40 threaded configuration. Benchmarks, we had shared repository programs and GitHub projects. In GitHub projects, the thing to be particularly noted is the disk space overhead because this will directly affect the speed up. And this also says that load imbalance might come into picture. So overall performance, like geomean speed up for dataset 1, we have the bottleneck as 1.4. So the 16 threaded is the optimal and then it dips. So because these two involves execution of the test cases, that is the offline and the execution phase. In online we don't have because most of the processing is involved in the primary memory. So you get 3.14 speed up for with 16 threads. Now that is 16 threads for the dataset 2. Here is linear in case of, like it is much more because of the heavy global sections, much more file disk processing. Dataset 2 GitHub projects tended to have more revisions, the major revisions, like between commits they have much more changes. So the speed up profile is due to this dominating because this is dynamic analysis is more here, static analysis is more because of the not much of the thread availability and much of them are done in the memory, in memory operations. Dynamic phases, parallelism is greater but it also involves disk overhead, which ultimately brings down the parallelism. So these are the challenges. For dataset 2, the optimal configuration came at around 32 threads. So to summarize, MATA parallelizes different phases end to end, platform independent analysis leveraging LLVM-IR, prioritization coupled with multi-threaded windows, failure hour but fault blind strategy. Thank you.